Hello, welcome back to the Jet Press Podcast. My name is Justin Fried, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend Mike Luciano. Mike, we are recording on Thursday today. It feels a little different. You know, I was away the last couple of days, so we had to push it back a day. Thank you all for joining us on a different day than we normally would record. But hey, feeling buddy, December 11th. What's going on?
It's December 11th. As always, the Jets are giving us precious little to actually talk about because they are bad.
Yep.
And their quarterback situation is bad. And people are getting mad about the draft. And Aaron Glenn's in a no-win situation because if he wins, people are mad about the draft pick. If he loses, people just say he sucks. So
Yep.
What does all of that lead to? Well, all of that leads to more quarterback talk, which we'll get into. We'll look over some stats. We'll maybe talk about week 14, and then we'll also do a fun little thing where, since apparently Phillip Rivers, who was on the doorstep of Canton, decided to come out of it, he's probably going to start this week. I think they're going to start him over Riley Leonard, which is crazy.
Like it.
He was coaching high school football. He was the old football coach on Tuesday, and then on Sunday he may play against the Seattle Seahawks, which is...
I was on a flight when that news broke, and the first thing I saw, I swear to you, the first thing I saw when I regained service, when I touched down in Nashville, I saw a notification where it was in a group chat. Somebody messaged her like, Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement. And I was like, they're trolling. This is not real. And then soon enough, like 3 or 4 more notifications popped up.
Maybe he joined as a coach or something. I don't know.
Nope. And then more notifications popped up, and it's like Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement, might be signing with the Colts. And I'm like, what is going on?
What in the world? What in dang tarnation, as he would say.
Right. Yes.
Gosh dang it. So We'll look at some Jets who maybe it might be fun if they came out of retirement. I do find it funny, though, that Rivers now has to wait 5 more years for the Hall of Fame. If he plays, it restarts the clock, so he's got to wait 5 more years.
It only matters. So if he's just signed to a contract, he doesn't have to wait. Like, he has to play.
He has to play. He has to be on the active roster too.
So what if he was like active for a game but didn't play?
Then that counts.
That counts. Okay.
That counts. Weird. If you're on an active roster, I believe that's how it works, because this guy obviously did not get into the Hall of Fame, and he is not a Hall of Famer. But I remember that happened with Steve DeBerg, where they called him out of retirement. He was, I think, 44 or 45 years old.
Yeah.
And he actually was the backup on that Falcons team that went to the Super Bowl and then lost.
Well,
that was when Eugene Robinson won Man of the Year, and then that day got arrested for solicitation. So that was a fun team.
It's been a wild few days for the football world too. There's the Michigan situation.
Oh my goodness, Sharon Moore.
Yeah, it's been a wild few days in football.
Before we get into that, though, thank you for tuning in. You where to find us: Apple, Google, Spotify, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there, and on YouTube. To really help us in that algorithm, like the stream, subscribe. Those things really push us up. Commenting a lot, that thing really helps. Philip Bongo. Too bad Jets fans have to root against Rivers. Cool story. Yes,
I know it does.
If Rivers loses, it'll help the Jets pick out.
How shitty will it? Like, it'll be awesome. Like, it'll be the entire NFL world celebrating if Rivers comes out and
at Seattle
out.
Too. He's not getting eased back into it,
dude. Imagine he throws for like 3 touchdowns against Seattle, how insane that'd be. But then
imagine how Anthony Richardson will never play again.
It's what an
Rivers. Look, I know he's a Hall of Fame player. If he out of retirement for 5 years at 44, just dices people up, Anthony Richardson is never going to play again.
Deeply unfortunate situation for Anthony Richardson, who, what a story it would be right now if he hadn't gotten hurt and they had to like turn back to him and be like, listen, playoff hopes on the live. Save us, A-Rich.
It wasn't even his fault. It was just a freak accident.
Freak accident with a exercise band.
Let's talk about the Jets, present and future quarterback situation. In the present, bleak, I think is the best way to describe it.
It's a mess.
Tyrod Taylor is injured, as is wont to do. Justin Fields has a boo-boo knee soreness, which, look, I think he may have a knee problem, but considering some of the quotes he's had after he got benched, and remember, if you remember, I noticed this during that whole who want to fly with them Jets thing, everybody's pumped up. Justin Fields just standing there.
Yeah.
Nothing. I think there's a little bit of not playing itis that he's suffering from.
Could be.
Zach Wilson stuff. So you put that into it, those two things. And there's a very good chance that the 2 quarterbacks active on the roster are Brady Cook and Adrian Martinez.
Brady Cook, by the way, also on the injury report. He's a full participant, but he's dealing with an ankle injury.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
So is Trevor Lawrence so it might be Nick Mullins versus Brady Cook.
Is Lawrence really in doubt to play this week?
No, not really, but he was on the injury report, same sort of thing.
Right.
So, by the way, Martinez, they should not have given him 1. I know Sauce Gardner Just like you can't give away.
Oh yeah. Well, he was 15 does anybody wear 15 right now?
Adonai Mitchell.
Adonai Mitchell, of course. So he couldn't wear 15 again.
You don't take one. Anyway, so what I am expecting is, honestly, and this might be a little pessimistic, I'm expecting the same thing that we saw against Miami. Because I know that we've made this point a couple times. It's nice sometimes for backups to get more reps with the starters. I really think because of the Shedeur Sanders thing, never have I heard he didn't get a full week with the starters in practice as an excuse for a backup not performing well. And now it's a thing. So there's a lot of Jets fans that now think, well, now that Brady Cook has some time with the starters, he'll be fine. And I don't necessarily think that, because not to do necessarily a whole preview for week 14, you got a skill position group that is still lacking, and Adonai Mitchell has had the great game and a couple up and down ones. Mechie had the 2 great games, and he's fallen back to earth. Breece Hall did not have a good game last week.
And Breece is banged up as well.
The offensive line is good, but last couple weeks it hasn't been as good as it normally has been all year. And that was against Miami, who's not a good defense at all. And now Jacksonville, they give up a lot of points, but they may be the best in the league in terms of forcing takeaways and causing chaos. Like, you got Devin Lloyd, you got Trayvon Walker, some of these secondary guys. Like, this is a real defense, an aggressive defense. So I think Brady Cook may end up performing a little bit better than he did against the Dolphins. I'm really not expecting much. I'm not expecting anything that would alter the Jets' quarterback plans for next year in terms of what we have to keep Brady Cook as our QB3 or even QB2. I'm expecting undrafted free agent quarterback play, which if you're a tank guy, you should be pretty happy about that, because this is a situation where the Jets could lose and improve their pick. Now, they might shock us all and win. They do that a lot, especially with the special teams. We'll get to them. Yeah. But this is a game that they probably should lose, and it really kind of excuses Aaron Glenn, in my opinion, of any blame for not being able to build a winner, because it's Brady Cook. Are we really going to get on Aaron Glenn, a first-year coach with a first-year staff, for not beating a pretty good team with an undrafted quarterback who was making his first start?
Yeah, obviously it depends on the circumstances. It depends what happens in the game. But if you're starting Brady Cook, I don't think anybody's going in with the expectation of a victory. I mean,
there are people out there who love Brady Cook, apparently.
Well, I had said something because I spoke to Kirk Herbstreit a couple of days ago, and flex, right?
Humble brag.
Sorry. That sounded extremely humble braggy. I'm sorry. But I put out a tweet. It was like, yeah, he's not expecting Dante Moore to declare, or he doesn't think Dante Moore should declare. And somebody in the replies was like, it's okay, we have Brady Cook. And they were like being earnest about it. And I'm like, buddy, listen.
That's what I was talking about.
Buddy, listen.
Not the let's see if Brady Cook can do anything. Brady Cook is a nice commodity to hold on to. That crowd is growing in numbers.
They just want to latch on to any kind of young quarterback the Jets have. But no, I would not go into this game, even if they were starting Tyrod Taylor, with any expectation of a victory. And while I am still a part of the crowd that does want to see some progress and potentially victories down the stretch, this is really one of those games. This and the Saints games are the 2 games where I'm like, yeah, a loss here is probably better. First, for the Saints, it's obvious because of the draft position stuff. But with the Jags, not only are you helping your draft position with a loss, but you are helping potentially your other draft position with the Colts pick, because if the Jags win that division, which good chance they do at this stage, especially with all the
Houston is red hot.
They are, but either way, Jacksonville winning hurts Indianapolis, which in turn helps the Jets. So there's a couple of reasons why you'd probably want a loss in this game. I think if Tyrod were healthy, he would still be the starter, right? Like Tyrod, he's dealing with the groin injury. Those are tricky. You don't normally see a player come back and only miss 1 game or miss barely any action, especially someone like Tyrod, who is 36 years old and has a lengthy injury history.
And moves around a lot.
Yeah, I don't know when he's going to be back, if he is at all, right? But if he does return, I think they would start him. The real question for me is if Justin Fields is healthy this week, or whatever version of healthy they want to call him, right? Because who knows how much of it is, a serious injury, how much of it is he can be playing through it, or they just don't want him to, or he doesn't want to, whatever, right?
He can, and he just is like, it's a little worse than I'm letting on here. Okay,
but if he was healthy, would they start him, right? Like I genuinely don't know if they would roll with Brady Cook, or if they are really just hesitant to play Fields at all at this stage. And I think either way, they want to give Cook the start this week. So I think what's most likely to happen is that both Taylor and Fields will be out. I think Taylor genuinely can't play, and I think with Fields, it could be a situation where he's really hurt, or it could be a situation where, let's see what Brady Cook can do. We don't really want Brady Fields out there. Fields doesn't really want to be out there. Kind of a mutually understood thing. I could see either of those situations being the case. Either way, I expect Cook to start this week, and I think if he is outright terrible, Fields probably starts the next week. If he's passable, which I would say he, given the circumstances, was mostly passable this past week. I think he was like bad, but not an abject disaster. And he was also thrown into the game completely unexpected. He had just been signed to the 53-man roster the day before.
They were down 21-0 when he came in.
You're already in a 21-0 hole. He was not given any reps in practice. Again, the Shador stuff, but he is going through this week. He will be getting first team reps in practice all week. Interesting stat here from Rich Samini. Just tweeted this. Brady Cook would be the first undrafted rookie QB to start for the Jets in 50 years.
50, 5-0.
Crazy.
Wow. Who's the last one?
I have no idea. Amazing trivia question would be the last one.
That would be 1974, right?
75.
75. Okay. So that was no, that wasn't Lou Holtz. That was the year before Lou Holtz.
Yeah, I don't know. So 1975.
Let's see. Well, name it. Oh my God. All right. J.J. Jones.
I have no
who
idea.
Started one game in the NFL.
That is crazy.
He completed, listen to these numbers, 16 of 57 passes.
Oh, my God.
For 181 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions.
Oh, my God.
Adjusted yards of negative 0.42 because he got sacked 7 times, and a passer rating of 9.6. That's it. Those are his career numbers.
Whose idea was it for him to throw 57 passes?
Well, he was Namath's backup, so Namath probably got hurt.
At that point, though, only 5 picks on 57.
Let's go to the game log. Let's see. By the way, he went to Fisk College.
Where is that?
I don't even know. Fisk University in Nashville.
I was about to say, wait a minute. I know that. Mike, I just passed by. I was going to say, that sounds so familiar. That's crazy.
It's an NAIA school in Nashville. Let's see the game log here. See if Brady Cook can beat this.
Clearly they lost.
Okay, he started one game but only threw 5 passes, so I don't know what happened there.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're saying the 57 passes game was the game he didn't
No,
start?
No, that was all across the entire year.
Oh, I thought you were saying he threw 57 times.
No. His
game.
All right, the game where he got the most extended playing time, this was against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, what did he do in his start?
1 of 5, but then Namath came in after he got hurt. So
Jones started, got hurt,
and then Namath came in. I think Namath was maybe hurt. I'm not sure. I wasn't around then.
Weird. Sure. You don't remember? Come on.
In his most extended playing time, he went 6 of 20 for 73 yards and 2 interceptions. So as long as Brady Cook is better than that.
The bar is low, Brady. The bar is very low.
Exceedingly low here.
That is kind of crazy, though, because even the shitty quarterbacks that the Jets have had to throw out there, you think the Luke Falks, right? Luke Falk was drafted. He was a 6th-round pick at Washington State, right? Something like that.
I think he was. Yeah, he was the Tom Brady pick. I remember.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was by the Titans.
Yep.
Yeah, but you got Greg McElroy, 7th-round pick. The guys they threw out there, they were still drafted. Mike White was a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys got him though.
Out of Western Kentucky. Yeah. Well, yeah, not by the Jets, but all those guys were drafted. Cook would be the first in 50 years to not be drafted and start a game for the Jets. That's kind of crazy.
Which is bonkers.
And it sounds like that's going to happen.
Now we want to do some quarterback scenarios, let's call them.
Sure.
Because we went over them a little bit in the post-game stream last time it's Miami, because again, what the hell were we supposed to really talk about? We're going to get on Aaron Glenn for not winning that game? Give me a break. So one thing that kind of caught my eye as the mock drafts start to percolate and pop up, Field Yates of ESPN had the Jets making a trade with the Giants for the number 1 pick. Now, Justin, I think it's obvious now. We don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be, if Moore's coming out, if Simpson's coming out, if Mayava's even coming out now because he's got 1 more year. One thing that is clear, though, Mendoza's coming out. And if the Jets stay where they are, they're not getting him. That's clear.
Yeah.
So Field Yates has them trading up from 7, where they are right now, to 1 with the Giants.
Just climbing, that's a long way.
Now, the trade involves them giving up their own pick.
Yep.
Number 18, which is the Colts pick. So that's 2 first-rounders and 1 of the day 2 picks, maybe the Cowboys pick.
Yeah. That's not
Do you do that?
Yes.
You do that immediately. Okay.
I don't hesitate. Moving up from 7-1, especially if Moore and Simpson don't declare, and this is straight up just a Mendoza draft, right? Where Mendoza is the only quarterback going top 10. Yeah, I don't even hesitate. I think it would take more than that to move up that far. If you're moving up from 7-1 in a draft where other teams will be looking to draft the quarterback and you're giving up 18 and a day 2 pick and one of your second rounders.
You're essentially trading Sauce Gardner for Fernando Mendoza.
Not
you're keeping the other pick. I mean, first round pick. You're trading 75% of Sauce Gardner for Fernando.
I wouldn't say that though, because the seventh pick that that seventh pick that you're trading, you're also acquiring the first overall pick. So it's not like, it's not like you're trading 2 firsts for Mendoza. It's you're moving up 7 spots and then trading a first in the second. I guess maybe if you want to say that's the equivalent of the Sauce Gardner trade, I don't know, but either way, that is
the picks you got for,
Yeah, well, either way, if you believe a young quarterback on a rookie deal can be a franchise quarterback, I mean, you trade 2 Sauce Gardners for that, in theory. So I think that's a no-brainer in my opinion. I think it would cost a lot more in reality to move up, especially if Moore and Simpson are not in this draft. But yeah, if you're moving up from 7-1 and all you're giving up is 18 and a second round pick, that is a no-brainer for me. And as long as this regime likes Fernando Mendoza, which I like him enough for that, I would do that trade. And I feel like they would as well. Yeah, that's a no-brainer to me.
The thing I like about it is not only do you still have a second round pick, which I'd imagine they might trade down with that second round pick and just accumulate, maybe get a second and a third, and you can rebuild. Even though the receiver class took a hit because Chris Bell is a torn ACL. So
he could have been a late first rounder. Like
he was rising.
That's unfortunate.
And he's got a little bit of the Luther Burden in him, but I think he's a better prospect than Luther Burden.
He's raw. Like he's a little very
bigger.
raw player.
So.
Yeah.
So but I still think they could maybe go that path. One thing I like about it is because the Jets right now have 3 first round picks in 2027, which is widely viewed as the superior class. Even outside of the quarterbacks, 2027 is viewed as a great class.
Yeah.
They would keep all of their picks that year because the only picks they can trade that year are their own, which I still think will be pretty okay, and the Colts, because with the Cowboys pick, it's the lesser of the Cowboys or the Packers. So until that resolves, they can't trade that pick. So they're going to have a minimum pretty much of 2 unless they trade their own pick, which would be silly. This trade, it moves you up. You have almost $100 million, I think, in cap space you're going to have, even with the dead money. So you can just go wild in free agency, and then you don't have to stockpile picks this year as much. And then you still keep the big stuff for next year. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. Again, I'd be shocked if that's all it took, especially if the Jets are picking 7. Like if they're picking like 4th, maybe, right? If they're picking 4th and Dante Moore is in this class, then maybe you can move up for that little. But if you're picking all the way at 7 and this is a 1 quarterback draft with Mendoza, like maybe if Mayava's in a draft, maybe he sneaks into the back of round 1. If somehow like Sellers declares, maybe he sneaks into round 1 probably. But, if it's just Mendoza, I would be shocked if the Giants or whoever holds that top pick were not able to get more. And as at this stage, I am almost resigned to the fact that I expect the Raiders to have that first overall pick. I would not
2, and then they'd stay and take them.
Yeah, I don't want Jets fans to get too all aboard the Mendoza hype train because I fear that it's not even going to be a realistic possibility because the Giants and Raiders play each other in a couple weeks.
I think the Giants win that game.
I think the Giants win that game. And assuming the Raiders don't upset 3 other teams that they're
Eagles or the Texans.
I think it's the Eagles, Texans, and Chiefs. Yeah, those are the other 3 games.
So they're going to be 2-15.
Correct.
They beat the Patriots in New England this year. That's how crazy football is.
Ridiculous. It's just silly. But if they lose that Giants game, the Raiders getting the first pick, and they're probably getting Mendoza because they're not trading out. They're likely just sitting there taking Mendoza.
Mendoza and Bowers would be pretty fun.
It'd be awesome. It'd be really fun. Jets fans should be desperately rooting for the Raiders in that game, and even more importantly, rooting for Dante Moore to declare.
If Dante Moore goes back, I still think he'll declare because I think Will Stein leaving to go to Kentucky is big.
Yeah.
If he goes back, it is.
If he declares,
Pickens.
That's the more interesting thing for me because I think right now Mendoza would go 1, but it's also December 11th. There's so much time that, so many things could change in the evaluation process over the next few months. We haven't even gotten to see the college football playoff yet, where both Mendoza and Moore will be playing, and those evaluations will be taken into account. But either way,
and Simpson.
Yes. And Simpson, I'm less confident that he's going to declare. I think he'd have to have a really good performance in college football playoff. He's been trending down for a while. Maybe. I mean, you never know. Next year's class looks a lot better, so maybe he wants to cash in and he could still be a first rounder this year. Maybe he does. I don't think he's in the top 10 range right now if he declares. I don't think he'd be a top 10 pick.
Now, if Moore declares, let's say if Mendoza's off the board, if he's 1-1.
Yeah, this is the interesting conversation.
How high are you willing to trade up for Dante Moore?
I really
Would
like
you go
Moore.
to 2 for him?
Here's the thing. I want to see what he does in the college football playoff, even more so than Mendoza. Mendoza, I don't think my opinion.
He's set.
Yeah, my opinion of him is not going to change that much. Moore's sample size is smaller. He's younger. And he doesn't have necessarily like Mendoza. I think he just had that defining win against Ohio State, right? Where he didn't light it up and he didn't have an amazing first half, but he came through and it mattered against as close as you're going to get to an NFL caliber defense in college football, right? Obviously, it's not an NFL defense. It's still college, but there are 5 guys in that defense who would be first round picks or second round picks, right? And you have Matt Patricia running the defense. So I think my Mendoza stock is kind of set no matter what happens in college football playoff. Moore is a lot more volatile, in my opinion. I think if he plays well, he could be the first overall pick. I think if he plays poorly, even if he comes into the draft, maybe he falls to, 6 or 7, right? Maybe you're not going to get a team that's as willing. Sorry. It's I didn't mean to do that. God damn it.
Did you see that In-N-Out is now not taking order numbers with that number anymore? Because people just keep freaking out whenever
it's still a thing, man.
What happened 2 years ago when everybody just got stupid?
I don't think this is a new thing. We've always had,
but it's very pronounced lately.
Well, we've always had dumb trends. This one is especially dumb, but it's just so prevalent. It's everywhere. But anyway, did you see the Ariana Grande? Who was she interviewing? She was talking with somebody, and I forget who it was. But the person that she was talking
Adam
with,
Sandler or something?
Yes, yeah, it was Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler said 6'7", and her eyes just went wide. But no, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if Moore maybe falls to 5 or 6, we'll say instead. I think that also is a possibility too. But yeah, I can't.
Mr. Mule, if Moore falls to the Jets pick at 7, should we take? If he's at 7, I'd take him immediately.
Probably yes. Again,
I just don't think he'll be there at 7.
The only way that happens is if he really plays poorly in the college football playoff, and then if he plays poorly, he might just go back to school.
I wouldn't say it's like Mendoza. Unless Mendoza just totally spits the bit and throws 4 picks, I think he's pretty much set at 1-1. I think Moore is proven enough. I mean, he's put up numbers against some really good defenses. His only loss was to Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he may not have that defining win, mostly because USC was worse than we thought they'd be.
Yeah.
Penn State was worse than we thought they'd be.
Well, he'll have that opportunity.
Iowa, I guess he played really well against Iowa, considering the conditions. That could be something. But
it's a good defense.
I would trade up to I think if he's there at 3, why not? If you offer the Yates package, because I don't think the Yates package might get Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be enough, you think, for 3 to get more?
Possibly. If the Raiders pick 1 and take Mendoza, and let's say 2 and 3 are Titans Giants, right? Let's say that's
so one of them takes Reese or Bain, and then the other one,
and then the other one is gonna possibly trade down. Yeah, I probably would do that for Moore. Now with Dante Moore, it's different than Mendoza because I don't think he's someone that should be playing week 1. I think there's still a lot that he has, a lot of room to grow with him, which is a good thing, but also it leads to more uncertainty about projecting him to the NFL level. Whereas with Mendoza, I feel fairly confident Mendoza is going to be an NFL quarterback. I don't know how good, but I would be surprised if Mendoza was not a starting quarterback in the next 3 years, right? A fine starting quarterback at a minimum. I feel like he's going to be a solid player. Moore, I don't know. Moore,
here's
Moore's a lot lower.
Next scenario. It's non-Moore related.
Sure.
But it's a hypothetical. So Ty Simpson in Alabama, he plays 2 playoff. He beats Oklahoma.
Okay.
Plays pretty well, about what he was doing in October and November levels of Ty Simpson. Then he goes and plays Indiana, and he plays about as he's been playing maybe the last couple days, and he loses.
Okay.
But he does show you enough. Let's say he even goes crazy in the Oklahoma game.
Yeah.
And has one of his best games of the year. And he comes out. Because I think he's firmly 3 now. I think Mendoza Moore are 1-2.
Agreed.
So I think he's firmly 3. You don't trade up. He's there at 7.
Mm.
Do you pull the trigger?
I would need to see those games and see how he performs.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, okay? I will provide more concrete answers to these questions once the season is over and once all of the sample size we've gotten. Because right now, my evaluation of Simpson is based on what we've seen to this point. And over the last month or so, it hasn't been pretty. It was very good before that, but it is really not been great.
You were on him over Mendoza for a period.
It was like 50-50 with the two. I was like 1A, 1B, right? But then unfortunately, Simpson just had a really rough month. And just like it's the same thing as Dante Moore, where the sample size is so small with him, one game really does impact your evaluation of him because it's just you have fewer games to go off of. But because of that, if he does play really well against Oklahoma, well, that also is going to really impact his evaluation because
that's a good defense too. It's an NFL guys on
defense.
Brent Venables too.
Absolutely. So that would look if he plays really well in like 2 games in a row in the college football playoff against 2 good defenses. Yeah, I would probably strongly consider him taking him at 7 if he's there. Like, because that's 2 really good games. Probably you could argue those would be 2 of his best performances of the season, given the circumstances. So yeah, I would consider that. It's too many hypotheticals for me to say concretely, but yeah, I would strongly consider it for sure.
Now, all right. Now here's the other thing.
Okay.
Let's say Simpson just spits the bit in the playoffs, plays badly. Jaden Mayava obviously is not in the playoffs, but it seems like he's rising. And if Sellers goes back, he's QB4. If Lenore Sellers either goes back to South Carolina or does a Caleb Williams and goes to USC.
And if one of Moore or Moore or Simpson don't come into the draft, then he's QB3. Probably.
Yes, exactly. So let's say Simpson spits the bit and looks terrible, and you're there at 7. Do you consider? Because I still don't think Mayava right now is a top 10 pick.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know about it.
Do you think there's a world where you maybe trade down and hope Mayava's in like the middle of the first round and then take him?
I think it'd be more likely that you use the Colts pick on him. I think would be the more likely outcome there. If you really, but that's also, it comes back to the conversation of, well, if you like a guy enough.
What, Jordan Tyson and Mayava round 1? Would you like that?
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. Jordan Tyson and get that would be setting Mayava up for success. Like you give him a good offensive line, you give him Garrett Wilson, Jordan Tyson, assuming Breece Hall is back, Mason Taylor, like
and
that.
Adonai Mitchell.
And Adonai Mitchell, John Mechie, whatever you get from them, that's icing on the cake. Yeah, I
don't want to say a good offense, but that's not like Cam Moore.
If the quarterback isn't dog shit, that should be at least a middle of the pack offense because you have the skill group and you have the offensive line. Obviously, look, the O-line's not set going into the offseason. There's going to be some changes probably. Like, Vera Tucker's a free agent, Simpson's a free agent, Myers a free agent. So there's going to be some shuffling there potentially, but I still feel very confident that the Jets offensive line is going to be good next year. They have 2 tackles who I really like. They have Joe Tippmann, who's been awesome this year at guard. And I feel confident.
From what I've heard, I think he's staying there forever.
I would expect that. I would expect that to be the case.
Yeah.
Although I will say, Myers has had some low snaps in recent weeks, and nobody seems to care. But if this was Tippmann, they'd be killing him.
Yeah, but Tippmann's also just been so really good.
I agree. I would.
Myers has been better than we thought he would be.
Agreed. But yeah, you could sell me on Tyson at 7 and Mayava at 18 if those are the picks. You could absolutely sell me on that.
Or Simpson at 18 if he keeps falling.
Yeah, potentially, absolutely.
Even if he's bad, would you take Simpson like late in the first round even if he's not good in the playoff?
I'd be more hesitant to take him because it's kind of like the conversation we had. I think it was on Sunday we talked about this, where there's a lot of guys in this class who are kind of fallers at the quarterback position, where it's like a Nussmeier, right? Guys or Aller, whose stock has fallen throughout the year. Klubnik, who, when the hell is he a day 3 pick? Klubnik, probably.
I think so.
Yeah, I guess. But like guys like that, I'm less willing to take chances on. I'm more willing to take chances on rising prospects, like a Mayava. Maybe not in top 10, but yeah, at 18 or wherever that pick ends up being, I said this before too. I think that the success of Jackson Dart is going to lead to some team taking Mayava in the first round. I just think teams are, and you can even point to like Jordan Love as another example of a late first round pick who you get that 5th-year option with, and they're working out. Like both of those guys, I think the Giants.
You develop with Matt LaFleur for 3 years, a little different than Aaron Glenn.
But Dart, I mean, it's not like Dart's been in a great situation. Brian Daboll, I thought, he does a lot of good things for young quarterbacks, but he's gone there now. Like
no neighbors.
It's been a complete shit show of an organization. Like the culture there and everything is just a mess right now.
Yeah, but nobody makes fun of them because they're the Giants.
It's true. But
if the Jets did that stuff,
it'd be for front page news.
If they didn't fire the GM after firing Dable,
if you redid the 2025 draft right now, is Dart 101, or is it still Ward? It's a real question.
I think he'd probably be 1-1, but again, like that's not saying it's not even a Dart thing. I just think it's so hard to evaluate Cam Ward.
It is
because I think he's made a lot of throws where, to bring up an opponent that we're playing this week, it was like watching Trevor Lawrence in the Urban Meyer year, where you're like he's gonna be once he gets something around him, but
yeah,
you're watching it now, you're like somebody help this guy out. Like the Browns, I thought he was pretty good in that game.
Better question: where does Tyler Shuck go? Is he a top 10 pick? Is he a top?
No, but if he keeps this up, like he's looked
all right.
Originally, we were kind of joking about like in a coping way, like, oh, the Saints better hold on to Shuck so they don't take. Like, I think they're holding on to him. I think
Shuck's the week 1 starter next year.
Yeah,
agreed. I think they'd be silly not to do that. I mean, you invested a top 50 pick in him, and I would say, given where you drafted him and given what he's working with, I'd say he's exceeded expectations. He's not.
Here's a crazy question. As we're thinking of Jets quarterbacks for 2026, who will be better as a quarterback if they play next year? Tyrod Taylor or Spencer Rattler?
Oh, well, Taylor might be for the 3 games that he plays, but then he get hurt. I thought Rattler was fine in New Orleans.
I thought Rattler was he's a lot better than he was his rookie year.
I don't think he deserved to get benched. They just wanted to give Shuck a look, and that's for the best. Like, it's good that they did
Shuck's,
that.
I think, better than Rattler now. So.
I agree. Well, Shuck just gives you more of a ceiling, I think, than Rattler does too. But
would Spencer Rattler be QB1 on the Jets right now?
Well,
I think he would be
right now with the injuries. Yes. I think, you could argue him or Fields. I mean, or him or Taylor. Obviously, I'd rather have Rattler because he's younger and there might be something there. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Spencer Rattler's a starting quarterback in the NFL in 3 years from now. It's just going to be like, where, right? What opportunity is he going to get to be able to be that guy? Because I thought with the opportunity he was given in New Orleans this year, he did okay. Like, if Rattler was a first-round pick and he played like he did this year, they'd be rolling with him as a starter next year. Like, I thought he did more than enough to warrant more opportunities.
Same if Shuck was even a late first-round pick. I feel like there wouldn't even be a debate of
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Let's get into some stats. You want to start positive or negative?
Let's do it. I want to start with the most notable one here. It's been a while since we brought back the gangrene stat machine, Mike. I know you introduced it.
You get 6-7 in this in like 10 minutes.
You're not sly, man. You introduced that because you didn't want me saying it. The GGSM is back, the gangrene stat machine, and we are going to kick this off with a conversation around, look, the Jets are bad, right? The offense is not very good. The defense has not been good this year.
They have no picks, Justin.
But God damn it, the Jets have an awesome special teams because, Mike, as of this week, as of week 15, December 11, 2025, the Jets are on pace to have the best special teams unit in NFL history, at least according to DVOA, formerly Football Outsiders, now FTN fantasy rankings. Sunday's game boosted their overall DVA, the special teams DVA, from 11.3% to 12.4%, which would be
above league average. That means
yes, 12.4% above league average. I believe there are only 2 other special teams units above like a 4 this year, 4%. The Jets are at 12.4. There's the second highest, I think, is like 8, and it's Seattle. Third highest is like 4, and it's Jacksonville. And then that's it. And everything else is below 4. Jets are at 12.4%. The current record is 11.8%, which is held by the 2002 New Orleans Saints. The Jets currently rank first in kick return DVOA by nearly double the next team. It's wild. First in punt.
I mean, they should have 3 kick return touchdowns this year already.
Yeah.
Because Nwangwu had 1.
Yep.
2, actually. And then Isaiah Williams should have had 1. He got caught at the 15-yard line.
And then Isaiah Williams has at least 1 punt. Obviously, he just had the punt return touchdown on Sunday, right? In a game, by the way, where they scored 10 points in that game. 7 of them came on a punt return touchdown. The other 3 came because they executed a fake punt, which was an option pitch on a fake punt, which I've never seen before. At least I can't recall ever seeing that. They're also first in punt DVOA, so shout out Austin McNamara. Second in field goal extra point DVOA. Nick Folk has, of course, missed 1 kick all year. And fourth,
like in the 50s, 50-yard or something?
Yep, 56 or something like that. And fourth in punt return DVOA. And that's amazing considering, remember the first few weeks of the season.
Special teams lost him a game, Xavier Gibson.
They had like the worst punt returners in football over the first 5 weeks of the season. Remember Avery Williams, who looked like he was running in quicksand?
Oh my God.
Remember the first
They were trying out new guys every week.
Yes.
Isaiah Williams like their fifth guy that they found.
The first few weeks of the Isaiah Williams experiment were a disaster. They literally lost week 1 because of Xavier Gibson, and they are somehow 4th in punt return DVOA. This is a historical performance from Chris Banjo's special teams unit. It's a shame that it's being wasted on a terrible Jets team.
That's my big concern is they have this kick-ass awesome special teams. Apparently Isaiah Williams is Devin Hester. Who the hell knew that would happen?
Yeah.
But because he's done it on both kicks and punts.
They're not even like Kene Nwangwu, who, by the way, speaking of Devin Hester, Kene Nwangwu has as many kick return touchdowns in his NFL career as Devin Hester had in his.
Yeah, now, Devin Hester was all punt returns.
Yeah, Hester had like 12 punt return touchdowns, but he had 5 kick.
Nobody's ever going to break that record ever.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But Nwangwu
6 in a season is never getting broken either. That's crazy.
Nwangwu has 5 in his career already on like 80 attempts. He's also had like 3 kick return attempts over the last 3 weeks, or like 2, because they don't kick them anymore. They've stopped kicking him. They kicked Isaiah Williams instead, and that hasn't really been any better for opposing teams.
Well, that's why I can't be too positive, because the Jets special team is probably going to be good because Chris Banjo is a good coach, and good coaches are good coaches year in and year out. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be the best ever every single year. Now the fear then is they basically have 2 extra wins this year because of their special teams.
Yeah.
Like Cleveland, and then you could argue.
But then they also have a loss because of their special teams in week 1.
True. But you look at this and then you wonder, man, even if they even if they get a good quarterback and improve even if they start getting turnovers on defense, is the win-loss record going to reflect that? Because they're going to probably take a step back from this, and then that probably costs them a win or so next year. They'll still be good. Here's my bold prediction, because I know that the leagues don't have this anymore. I remember the Jets were worried about – this shows you how funny the Jets are. They're like, well, we can't hire an OC who's too good because then he might get poached for like a head coach job when they were hiring Engstrand. Like, if the NFL ever hires a special teams coach as a head coach again after Joe Judge screwed it up for everybody else, I think Chris Banjo is going to be the guy.
He might be. I mean, look, Harbaugh worked out. Harbaugh was a special teams coach.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, when he got hired, he also was the defensive backs coach, so he wasn't just doing that. But weird thing to do both of. But yeah,
it is. But Banjo has been.
That was also 2007. He got hired in 2008, so
it was
been a while. Joe Judge was awful. So
Banjo has been as stellar of a hire as you could ask for. The Jets are just. Look, I think it almost gets taken for granted how great this special teams unit is. Like people, people pointed to the new kick return rules too, and they're like, "Oh, is that potentially playing a factor here?"
No one else is this good.
No, it's not. Like I said, there's only 3 teams in the NFL, and it's also DVOA is weighted by, or it's relative to the league performance, right? So there are only 3 teams right now above a 3.9%. The Jets are quadruple that essentially at 12.4%. Just a ridiculous performance. The Jets special team is amazing. But you know what's not amazing?
Really quick before that, I was looking it up. The 2002 Saints. Yeah, they went 9-7 that year, and they were 3rd in scoring despite having the 26th ranked defense.
Wait, all right. I want to try. Was like John Carney their kicker, or is that before Carney?
I
don't know if I know.
No, it was John Carney.
It was. Wow, look at that. I have no idea who their punter was. This
Toby Gowen. So
sure, it's pre-Morstead. So
Aaron Brooks was the quarterback. The OC that year, Mike McCarthy. Oddly enough.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Potentially future Tennessee Titans head coach, Mike McCarthy.
Possibly.
That's the rumor right now.
Aaron Brooks was the quarterback. Deuce McAllister, Joe Horn, Jerome Pathan, Dante Stallworth. This is old ass. I'm about to retire. Jake Reed, who was like 60 years old.
Oh my goodness.
This is a fun team, man.
It's a fun team. You know what's not so fun though, Mike? We got to talk about Will McDonald.
We got to talk about Billy Mack, man.
We got to talk about good old Billy Mack, who unfortunately, for the first time since his rookie year, failed to record a single pressure in the Jets' Week 14 loss to the Dolphins. He has now recorded 2 or fewer pressures in 8 of the 13 games that he has played this season. And get this, as we know about Willie McDonald, the obviously the pressures are down, and that's unfortunate. But one thing has stayed consistent. He is maybe the worst run defending defensive end in the NFL, just like he was last year, because his 27.4 PFF tackle grade ranks 108th out of 110 qualifiers.
How do you get that low?
And his 38.2 PFF run defense grade ranks 109th out of 110 qualified edge rushers. He hasn't improved like in that regard. I know people have tried to point to maybe there's been a few more splash plays this year, but the down-to-down consistency is still an absolute mess. He is unfortunately just a massive liability when he's out there. Look, there are games this year where the Jets have played Michael Clemens more snaps than Will McDonald. And I think that says all you need to know about how two different staffs have now viewed McDonald as a player. The Jets have a decision to make on his fifth-year option in the offseason. And if it were up to me, I don't think they should pick that up. I would like to see him part of the rotation next year. I would like to see him as a third down pass rusher who's playing maybe 35% of snaps. I think that's his best role. He's just way overexposed in a defense like this. He does not have enough pass rush help around him, and he is just such a liability as a run defender that it is inexcusable to me to go into next year relying on him to play over 50% of snaps. I just don't think you could do it.
Well, this was always going to be the $64,000 question this year was who's the better of the two, Jermaine Johnson or Will McDonald? Well, now we have our answer. It's Jermaine Johnson.
And it's not like Jermaine's had a great year.
He's had a good year.
He's been fine. I will give him a pass because it's his first year back from the Achilles. But if this was a fully healthy Jermaine Johnson and there wasn't an Achilles tear, I would have questions about keeping him around long-term too. I'm just willing to say, okay, look, it's his first.
He also just brings so much though.
He does. But you need more juice from him. And I hope you get it next year. Again, it's his first year back from an Achilles tear. Usually it takes an edge rusher or edge rushers 2 years to kind of get back to their pre-injury form. Unfortunately, we never saw that with Carl Lawson. He had other injuries.
He just got cut this week.
He did. Yeah, his back gave out, and he just had other injuries.
Poor guy.
Unfortunate. They cut him, by the way, to sign Laken Tomlinson. So little X-Jet on X-Jet crime. But yeah, it's a problem with Will McDonald, and I think edge rusher. I would argue edge rusher is the biggest need for the Jets defense going into.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah,
I would argue it's. I don't want to say it's as big of a need as quarterback, but like. Far and away, but it was edge rusher and wide receiver was the debate. I think it's clearly edge rusher now after the trades.
You would think edge rusher over wide receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know.
I think at least Mitchell and Mechie look like pro players.
Yeah.
To whatever degree. And they only really need to add, I think, one wide receiver. And that could be a veteran or in the draft. They could sign Jawan Jennings or Alec Pierce or one of these guys. Or use one of the second-round picks on a receiver. They need multiple new edge rushers.
Yeah.
You need to spend big money on a guy, and you need to draft a guy, bare minimum.
I think
let me defend Will McDonald a little bit here. Somebody said it's buffering a lot. Apologies if it is buffering there.
Yeah. Maybe it's a restream problem again.
Yeah, I hope it's not. That's not on our end.
Well, I'll say this person said that from Twitter. I don't know.
So who knows? But here's where I'll defend Will McDonald a little bit. I think, well, number one, obviously he was drafted for a scheme that suited him better than this one. Yes. I think that's obvious.
100%.
I think, remember how they kept talking about either beefing up or slimming down Michael Clemens and his body just couldn't take it, like they added weight and he wasn't as good, if you can imagine that. His second year, I feel like they've tried to get Will McDonald to beef up. His body just won't take it.
The Jets have been trying to do it for 3 years now. This literally the first press conference I'm pretty sure Robert Saleh did after they drafted Will McDonald. The Jets talked about beefing him up and having him put on weight. And
they're trying. Some guys' bodies just can't add the weight, and that's you can't predict that. But McDonald does seem like a guy where he in a more limited role, almost in a role like what Bryce Huff was in that last year, where he's playing some run defense snaps, but not all, and all you do is rush the quarterback.
Yeah.
I feel like he could actually succeed a little bit. He reminds me of, this is going to sound really weird, he's almost like the John Ross of defensive ends.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
well, in that he was, or you insert any, maybe the Stephen Hill of ends where.
Oh God, that's worse.
Well, let me explain. So teams get so entranced by the speed and the athleticism, and they think, well, if we just teach him the other stuff, he's already got the speed. He can't teach that. Then he'll be a really good player. And then they just never pick up the extra stuff. And that's where I think Will McDonald's at right now, where they said, all right, we got a huge check mark checked. He's really fast. He's got a good toolbox of pass rush moves. Check. Now we got to work on getting everything else, and he just hasn't added anything else. The speed can work. I mean, look at the Browns game. Look at the Steelers game. Sometimes he just blows by people. And I think with more edge depth where teams don't just hone in on him, I think he could be a much better, more efficient pass rusher. But the Jets don't have that infrastructure right now. So he's kind of dying on the vine a little bit.
Man, I thought I was low on Will McDonald. You just called him the Stephen Hill of edge rushers.
Well,
Oh God, that's crazy.
He's clearly being asked to do so. It's like Michael Clemens trying to tackle a guy in open space,
Yes.
and he can't.
It's like he obviously can't do this. Like we're asking him to do
he cannot defend the run. But also, there are 10 other Will McDonalds around the league that are pretty good, and none of them are asked to defend the run at all. Will McDonald is. That's the problem.
I agree. I don't think Will McDonald is a shit NFL player. Like I think he's an NFL player who can absolutely contribute for a team and contribute for a good defense. It's so much of this depends on what scheme the Jets try to run moving forward, because I'm not sure if Steve Wilks is around long term, but I think it's become increasingly clear to me that, and I think this is more of an Aaron Glenn thing than a Steve Wilks thing, I think the Jets want to get bigger on defense. I think they want to get more physical.
Salah's guys were all now by design, they were very small.
Yes. And because of that, I don't feel confident. In fact, if I'm predicting right now, I would predict that Will McDonald and Jamie Sherwood are both not on the roster in 2027. 2026, they'll both be around. They'll both be here.
Who do you think is more likely to be there, like Sherwood or Will McDonald?
I think Sherwood, because I still hold out hope that Sherwood, if you pair him with somebody who's a lot bigger, like we've said the name a lot, like a Sonny Styles, right? Like someone like that.
Leo Chenal from Kansas City.
Leo Chenal, if he's probably not going to hit free agency, but if he did, man, perfect free agency.
Austrian Jet fan with 10 more memberships.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
We love you, man. We love you.
You are the best.
You
Shout
are
out
the best.
Austrian Jet fan. As
a couple
always.
Other comments really quick, though, I want to get to before we go on to our next segment. As always, Thank you, Austrian Jet fan. JJ, remember people were pissed saying we better not trade Jermaine for a second-round pick. You'd be lucky to get a fourth. I think that's a lunch.
At the time,
and then Jermaine is a jack of all trades, master of none.
I remember at the time saying that if the Jets got a second for Jermaine, I probably would have done it. It sounds like the Jets.
I would have too. I just don't think anybody was offering that. Now, if you got a third, I don't think I'd do that.
I agree. It was reported by, I believe it was Connor Hughes, that the Jets were offered a second and wanted more than a second for Jermaine, which greed is the ugliest of the sins.
Well, again, like he just imagine how dead this team defensively would be without him.
Look, I'm also like, I'm willing to give him another year because again, he's coming back from the Achilles tear. He was very good in 2023. He was a very good player. Not a Pro Bowl caliber player. He made the Pro Bowl because he was like a seventh alternate, but he was a very good player. Like if that's the Jermaine you're getting, like that's Calvin Pace. And I would love a Calvin Pace in this defense. Like that is
Calvin Pace in a decade.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a high floor, high character team leader who is somebody who I think would be a defensive captain for the next 7 years, right?
Plays the run, rushes the passer, does everything.
Right. So if you get that Jermaine again, then awesome. Right now he's not playing at that level. It's his first year back from the Achilles tear. And also, like we said, it's not like the defensive line around him is particularly great. M asking, would you keep Will for next year? Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to. I mean, well, let me say, I don't
like he's not useless. He's just never going to be what they thought what Robert Saleh thought he would be.
I think there is a world where if the Jets signed, like a Kwity Paye or whoever in free agency, and you go into the draft thinking, okay, we could add somebody here. I think there's a world where they shop Will around and potentially trade McDonald. I think that could potentially happen, but I don't think they're going into the offseason wanting to trade him. I really don't think he fits what they're looking for in their defensive end room. And I
honestly, Tyler Barron kind of does. He just stinks, but like physically, that's what they want.
Dude, I don't know how bad that knee injury is. It didn't look bad, or it didn't look good. Like he might have blown out his knee. I don't know. It's not being reported at all, but that's very unfortunate end to a rookie year for him. That I don't think he's on the week 1 roster next year.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he should.
I don't think him or Arian Smith is. I thought Smith would have been like wide receiver 6, and then he got suspended for disciplinary.
Smith, the one saving grace for him might be special teams. Like I don't think he
messed up on that last week too.
He did, but they do like him as a gunner, and if he can prove that he should be one of their gunners, along with Quantez Stiggers, assuming it's still him.
Quantez is giving me Justin Miller vibes.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
In terms of special teams being good.
Oh yeah, okay. I think I talked.
What was the other guy? I'm blanking. The special teamer who was always really good for the Jets recently.
Justin Hardy.
Justin Hardy.
Yeah. He's carving out a role there. Really quick before we get into our Rivers thing, let's do one more stat really quick. Yeah. I just want to have a conversation about this guy, right?
The Mooge's biggest hit.
Mooge is loose. Far. Jawan Briggs. Briggs had 3 more pressures for the Jets in week 14. He had a 91.9 PFF pass rush grade
against Jonas Savaiinaea, granted.
Yes, granted against who, by the way, had a good block on a Dolphins touchdown.
Yeah.
Since week 7, Briggs has PFF's highest pass rush grade amongst all interior defensive linemen, 88.1. The next closest players behind him, Dexter Lawrence at 83.3, which, by the way, people have been way too down on Dexter Lawrence. He's still.
Who would have thought Jawan Briggs and Brandon Stevens would be the Jets' two best defensive players?
And then Chris Jones, the other guy, at 80.3. Briggs, PFF has a metric called pass rush productivity, which kind of just is like a conglomeration or whatever of all.
So what's like an average rating for that, just for comparison?
I don't know. I don't even know what an average rating is, but I know the league leaders are usually around like 10. Okay. That's usually the best that usually you'll see. And Briggs, since week 7, has a pass rush productivity rating of 10.7, which is the highest among all interior defensive linemen. And he is 7th in total pressures amongst defensive linemen since week 7, even though he's only played 123 pass rush snaps. I don't think anybody else in the top 7 has played fewer than like 170 snaps. He's played 123. So just a ridiculous heater that Jawan Briggs is on right now as a pass rusher. That's not even talking about what he's doing as a run defender, because he's a very good run defender. Mike, my question for you, where do you see Briggs fitting in next? Like, do you think the Jets look at him as a starter on their roster going into 2026?
Oh, absolutely. How could you not?
Yeah, we've reached that point. I think I agree.
I would not be opposed to using maybe a 4th-round pick or signing like a nice, dependable veteran to be your 3rd defensive tackle.
Yeah.
But I mean, Mike, what more does the guy have to do? If he wasn't like a 7th-round pick they got in a pick swap, we'd be freaking out. Look at how the Jets fans talk about Adonai Mitchell. And Jawan Briggs has been a lot better than Adonai Mitchell. Mitchell was a 2nd-round pick. Briggs was a 7th-round pick. Like, throw that all out the window. Throw 7th-round pick out the window and just look at the games. I mean, I'm maybe I'm more high on the guy than most people, but I mean, my God, you literally can't perform any better, especially because we were wondering, how are they going to replace Quinnen Williams' pass rush on the interior? Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is, here's why the Jets are very easy to beat defensively. If you just divide their defense, I guess it should be defense, really, instead of defense. Like,
take it up with the English.
The regular word is defense, but the Department of Defense. But.
Brian, is today Wednesday? It might as well be. It's Wednesday for us. It's Wednesday somewhere, right? Isn't that how it works?
I'm just kind of, okay, my mind's now blown because it should be defense. But anyway.
Okay.
So if you cut it in half, basically, you just bisect it.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets have two awesome run stuffers.
Yeah.
Who in Harrison Phillips and Jermaine Johnson, who both aren't good at rushing the pass, especially Phillips. Like, he's not Al Woods level, but he is a run stuffer through and through.
I put out, there was a stat I had last week where we didn't get to talk about it, but I think he's been like, I think he might have PFF's highest run defense grade amongst defensive linemen.
And the Jets have all these highest graded things.
I know.
So they have that. And then if you go on the other side, you get pass rusher. Briggs is a better run defender than Will McDonald, obviously, but Briggs and Will McDonald, who are pass rush specialists, for lack of a better, that's what Briggs has become pretty much.
Briggs shouldn't be. Like, Briggs is supposed to be a run defense guy first. But
he's evolved into a pass rush guy, not good against the run. So it's very easy. If they just find the McDonald and Briggs, run there, and pass protection, slide that way.
I think so many of the issues with this defense, on top of the fact that, again, they can't create a takeaway. Like,
Michael Walker had one.
They are
gift wrapped and just dropped it.
This is one of the safest defenses to play. Like, this defense does not scare anybody because they're not going to be able to make splash plays against you. Not going to create takeaways. But I think, again, a lot of it is like vanilla scheme. They run a very vanilla scheme. That does not maximize the talent that they have. I also just think they're soft in the middle. Like, not even as much with their D tackles, but their linebackers have played very soft this year.
You know what's funny about this, too? Aaron Glenn, the last year in Detroit, tons of takeaways. Steve Wilkes in San Francisco, tons of takeaways. You put them together, none. How does that work?
It's a combination of
and they got takeaways last year because it was still Saleh.
Yeah. Well, again, a big part of it is you can't, like, they blitz at like a top 7 rate in the NFL, but they pressure opponents on blitzes like 31st in the NFL or something like that.
Because it's all the same blitz.
Yeah. So they blitz a ton, and it yields terrible results where they're consistently.
At least Brian Flores gets home when he blitzes.
Yeah. They're basically just taking guys out of coverage and asking you to beat their linebackers, which, hey man, teams have had a zero issue doing that this year, or beat your safeties, or beat your.
Oh no, they're going to beat Andre Cisco and Tony Adams. How are they going to do that?
Cisco's hurt now, so or beat your
before,
or beat your slow corners on crossers. Like, it's very easy
to
beat this defense right now.
Austrian Jet fan, we haven't the guys to do it. That's
some of it is that. Some of it is that. Brian, fair question here. Vanilla scheme might be to hide players' skill deficiencies. Maybe, but
I think also they're very young, so I guess maybe Glenn and Wilkes, maybe especially early in the season, may not have been too keen on throwing a bunch of different varied play calls and disguises at him because they'd rather, especially earlier in the year when everybody was just running wide open. I think they said, well, we'll be more conservative and have everybody at least just get in the right spots, and then maybe a turnover will happen, as opposed to being too aggressive and fluid, and then we leave big chunk holes open, and then we get beat. Like that in the Buffalo game, I think that might have been a turning point where they're like, all right, let's truncate things, simplify it. Like we'd rather them get a 10-play touchdown drive than a 4-play touchdown drive. I think that's their thinking.
I also think they've kind of almost switched up their scheme on the fly. They went into the year thinking they're going to be this heavy press man, scheme, like they were going to run a lot of press man, and then that wasn't working
because they don't have the pass rush to get home.
Right. So then they tried.
And they don't have Sauce now. So
they've run a lot more zones since then. And how many times this year, Mike, have you seen Jets players completely lost and out of position in zone?
Which is weird because a lot of them came from zone schemes and were drafted for zone schemes.
It happens every week.
You think they'd be like, all right, this will be. You think Wilkes is like, all right, let's get back to what they know best, which is zone. And then they look more confused than they were when they played man.
Look, that's another reason why I don't want to give the benefit of the doubt to the coaching staff and say that they're running a vanilla scheme because of deficiencies in the personnel, because we've seen Jamie and Sherwood play a lot better than this. We've seen Quincy Williams play a lot better than this. Same goes for Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald and a lot of guys, outside of really Briggs and Phillips, who weren't here last year. They're just playing better this year than they were last year with their other teams. I guess Stevens as well, but like there's a lot of guys in this team who they don't seem to be playing up to the standard that they've shown in the past.
I feel like everybody you say that about is a holdover guy from Saleh.
They kind of are. You're not wrong. They kind of, other than like Cisco. Cisco's the guy they brought in who they expected to be this playmaking safety who would have kind of highs and lows, but would create takeaways. And you just virtually got none of the highs and all the lows with him. But outside of that, like Stevens, I think has exceeded expectations. Obviously Briggs and Phillips have exceeded expectations. So the guys they brought in, have been the pieces maybe outside of like Barron and Maui Noah. But, most of the guys they brought in, I think
that would go as a fifth round player playing like a backup, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know if Maui Noah is on the team next year too.
I think he should be.
Maybe.
I think he'll be the fourth string linebacker.
Maybe.
You're fine with that.
I think he'll be in the mix.
He's good special teamer. He has a role.
He might be. Yeah, he might. But yeah, I think there's something to be said about the scheme playing a role there. We'll talk more about Wilkes probably in the future. Mike, I know it's a little late, but
it still wouldn't be a good look though for Muji, as much as we like him, if like half his day 3 picks are just wiped out in year 2.
Well, right now the only one that I feel
Malachi Moore is the only one.
The only one I feel confident is going to be on the roster next year is Malachi Moore. That's the only one, because there's Moore, Barron, Maui Noah, and Smith.
Yeah.
The only one I feel confident saying is on the 53-man roster in year 2 is Malachi Moore, which that's
now we hit on the first 3, it looks like.
Hopefully. TBD on Azaria Thomas still, but Membu is 100% a hit. Taylor should be a hit. We'll see.
More good than bad from Thomas, I'd say.
Really, really quick from Brian, because I want to get to the draft, but this is a good question too. Thoughts on bringing in a new mic for 2026 and moving Sherwood to Sam? Yeah, I don't think Sherwood should be your mic next year.
He's proven he can't do it.
Whether that's a Leo, like if you can get like a Leo Chanel, like that's a dream. I don't know if he hits free agency. He probably doesn't. But Leo Chanel from Kansas City, who goes 245. He's
winning guy too. Anzalone from Detroit, one of Glenn's guys.
And even Anzalone isn't even like a traditional mic either. Like that would be an interesting one with Anzalone if you brought him in, because he's a little smaller too, I think.
But I think Glenn kind of knows him and trusts him.
Yeah.
Because Campbell was the mic there.
That would be my one pushback on an Anzalone signing. I think it'd still be a good move. I don't think that's the exact archetype they should be looking for. Like, I think they should be going into the draft, like again, a Sonny Styles or a CJ Allen is big enough for that too.
What about Quay Walker in free agency?
How big is Quay Walker? Packers guy. How big is
he? Like 230 something? Like we don't want to just sort by weight here and then.
Yeah, I know. 6'4".
Craig Rollo, I'm not reading that comment.
6'4", 241. So yeah, I am also.
Yeah, I'm not reading that comment.
Yeah, we can't put that on screen.
We can't put that on the screen. I don't want Anzalone because my younger brother is a big Lions fan. Anzalone's like his second favorite player. And he picked the Mets instead. I picked the Yankees. He picked the Mets. He's already upset about Alonso, because that was his second favorite player on the Mets.
Anzalone would
Behind Lindor.
he would so quickly become a fan favorite though. Like just a
Oh,
wonderful
the hair and the style and the
and just a wonderful guy, a team leader. Like
we've interviewed him. We know he's a nice guy.
I'm lucky enough. I've interviewed him twice, and he has been one of my favorite people I've interviewed. Just a wonderful, wonderful person.
I've interviewed Austin McNamara when he was coming out, and he was coming out in the draft. Not okay.
I don't think anybody thought you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I interviewed him in June. It was great.
Oh boy. Let's go do a little bit of a fun segment here on the Jet Press Wacky Fun Time Review. We're gonna go and do a little mini draft.
Yes.
Team left guy and team right guy. And this is going to be players inspired by Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement. Guys who we would like to see from yesteryear possibly come back and ply their trade again for the Jets, even if it was very briefly.
I'm very excited for this. Mike, as our resident left guy, I'm going to give you the first pick in this draft. By the way, this is based on an article that I wrote in the Jet Press that you could check out. So I didn't even do that much like research for it. I was more like, what names are coming to my mind? Who would I like to see play for the Jets again? But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this goes, buddy. Who is your first overall pick in the Phillip Rivers inspired Jets we would like to see unretire to play in 2026 draft?
Well, I'm biased because this is probably my favorite Jets player ever. And he didn't end his career in the best way.
Yeah.
Don't tell me if Darrelle Revis said I'm playing again, you wouldn't be interested.
Yeah. He was on my list too. And look, what's wild about Revis is
Brian Glick. No, don't make us sad.
That's a tough one with that.
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
It would be quite a comeback though if he could,
it would
come back from the dead.
It would be crazy. Look, what's wild about Revis too, he would not even be the oldest player in the Jets roster. He's 40.
No, Nick Folk.
Darrelle Revis hasn't played a snap in the NFL in 8 years, I believe, in 2017.
I think he's one of the youngest Hall of Famers ever when he went in.
Yeah.
Gale Sayers was like 30. Nobody's ever breaking that, but I think he's one of the youngest.
If he were to come back, he would also, surely be the first ever active Pro Football Hall of Famer to play in an NFL game.
Yes, he would.
Pretty fun.
And also, I'm gonna be honest, like not a lot of corners do it, but Darrell Green played until he was 42 as a corner.
You know what? Bring back Revis. Let him play free safety. You got Revis and Malachi Moore. I'll tell you what, Darrelle Revis will get takeaways. That's one thing he will do.
Azaria Thomas as a mentor. Talk about could you get a better one for him than Darrelle Revis?
Who's faster at this stage, Revis or Azaria Thomas? Anyway,
Revis might be slower than like Jawan Briggs at this point.
Maybe. All right. That's fair. Revis
Tremaine Johnson, no,
to Tremaine. There's some good polls here in chat. We'll see. Some of these might
Quincy Enunwa before injuries was my guy.
Look, some of these might make the list, and I'm glad you mentioned before injuries because one of my caveats, I'm just going to say, I'm going to turn injuries off for mine, right? Maybe not to the extent of like Dennis Byrd, but like I'm going to turn off like
Dennis Byrd got a pretty nasty case of dead, so that also
he had some major injuries and then unfortunately passed away.
His number's retired, right?
Yeah, number 90 is
as it should be. That's
retired,
that's worth it. Yep.
I'm going to go with a guy who is I would say almost certainly going to be the most recent retiree on this list. And he retired a little young, partially because he had some injuries later in his Jets career. But if there's any player, we just talked about, Mike, what this Jets defense needs. They need a physical, big enforcer at linebacker. Give me CJ Mosley.
Give me CJ Mosley.
Because if there's anybody on this list, we're going to talk about some crazy hypotheticals.
Demario Davis is still playing Brian Glick. And he's very good with the Saints.
I would love
to be a Hall of Famer, Demario Davis.
I would love Demario Davis.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he's very good. The longevity is his best selling point. But he's only made 2 or 3 All-Pro teams, I think.
He's made 1 first team, but 4 second teams in a row.
I don't think that's All-Pro. All right, I don't think that's
this is year 14. Who's more of a Hall of Famer, him or Levante David? I think him.
How many Hall of Fames has David made?
All pros?
All right, yeah, fuck.
I think he's only made 1 or 2, but he was every year he'd be number 1 on every most underrated list would be Levante.
I know David. It doesn't matter. I know it shouldn't matter, but David also has a ring, and Davis doesn't. Yeah. I know that shouldn't matter, but I think it will a little bit. But I mean, the both of them are Ring of Honor guys for their respective team, for the Saints and Bucks. But anyway, give me CJ Mosley. Of all the far-fetched possibilities we're going to throw out there, this one is one that actually could feasibly, theoretically happen if his neck healed. And I think if he was healthy, he would still be playing at a pretty high level in the NFL and would, in my opinion, be a starting linebacker for the Jets right now.
Brian Glick says Joe Namath. What, in his current state? What, do you want to get the guy killed?
All right. We'll go snake draft with this. I'm going to decide that right now.
All right.
We're doing snake draft. All right. Give me a name. This was mentioned in chat. There's a lot of really good names here. This one was mentioned.
There's so many good ones.
It was also in my article. Another position that the Jets really need, as we talked about in the offseason, is a wide receiver. And they specifically need a big-bodied alpha X wide receiver. And you could argue, Mike, that they haven't had one since this man retired. Give me Brandon Marshall. Give me B-Mark.
The last Jets jersey I've ever purchased.
Brandon Marshall?
Well, because I don't buy every time I buy a jersey, the guy leaves. So
fair enough.
And you don't really wear it a lot in public. Because Chew donates 5 memberships.
Chew. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Thank
you so much for that, Chew.
That you are the man. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, give me CJ Mosley and give me Brandon Marshall. That's my first 2 picks.
Oh, I was looking at Marshall because he's just so big. Like
I bet he could still be a red zone threat if you put
kick him inside to tight end if he's put on a couple.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. I bet he could still do it. He's in good shape too.
Now the other problem though is let's talk about the big problem in the room. They need a guy who can throw the damn ball.
Oh no. Okay.
Chad Pennington did not have a good arm in his best day. I can't imagine it's much better now. Brett Favre has some medical problems that might make it difficult. I gotta go for a native son of New York, fellow Italian.
Oh my God!
Come on, it's got to be Vinny Testaverde.
He's on my list too. 62 years old, Vinny Testaverde.
It's got to be Vinny Testaverde, man.
That's fair.
It would have been Favre if he didn't have his current medical problem. But I think people don't realize too that the year that the Jets went to the AFC Championship game, they went 12-4 that year. Mm-hmm. 3 of the 4 losses Testaverde didn't play in. They were 12-1 when he played that year. Nigh unbeatable with Vinny Testaverde. And if you look at his numbers, I know he's a little bit of a compiler. He has 46,000 passing yards in his career.
Well, look, this is the ageless wonder. He played until he was 44.
He was drafted in 1987 and retired the year Calvin Johnson got picked.
That is absurd.
And he got drafted in 1987.
And he played in the game in 2007.
Tampa, he was with the Browns, he was with the Ravens, everywhere, this guy.
Yep. Yeah.
Now I'm looking at...
He was on my list, I'll tell you that.
The backfield, because Breece Hall's great. He can't do it alone. I saw one guy mention Thomas Jones. I'm going to go against Thomas, who I think he's doing... Isn't he like an actor now, I think?
Yeah, he's a director, I think.
He's a director or an actor? He's a thespian. He's some sort of...
Yeah.
Some sort of thespian.
No, don't take my guy.
He's a violent man. I remember that movie.
He
was in Luke Cage. I remember that. He was in Luke Cage.
Mike, I have a running back in mind too. I don't want you to take him.
I'm going to go and look at another guy.
Oh no.
Maybe what he did in San Diego. Give me LaDainian Tomlinson. I'll take my chances.
That's you know what? That's fine. That's not who I was thinking of. But that's
because we got old. I'm about to retire. Running a 4.8 40 LaDainian Tomlinson, and he still was a really good running back for a run first team. He still was that good.
That's
gotta
fair.
be LT. I have from when I was a kid my powder blue LT Chargers jersey.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite. And actually, if you're watching, hi mom, my mother, who knows probably 10 active football players, does not care about sports. The only Jets jersey she got when they were good, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Wow.
So he holds a special place in the Luciano household. So,
all right, I have a couple options here. Are you going to double up? Would you take another quarterback? Are you gonna take another quarterback?
Maybe. I don't want to give the game
away.
Okay.
Fair. Because I can take a quarterback. I have another quarterback in mind.
I'm not a cop. You can do whatever you want.
I'm going to take the other quarterback that I have in mind, Mike. I've seen this guy recently. He's still around the NFL. He's still doing a lot of stuff. He's a coach currently in the NFL, I believe. Wait, hold on. Where he's yeah, that's right. He is the current quarterbacks coach for the Minnesota Vikings. Give me Josh McCown.
Okay.
And I know people will be like Joe Namath or whatever. Joe Namath would snap in half if he would take a hit.
How old is Joe Namath?
Right 80 or something?
82. Wow.
82. Right.
Good for Joe, man. He's going to be 83 next May.
Give me Josh McCown because I believe, just like Phillip Rivers, if you put McCown in the backfield right now, I think he could still throw the ball. I think he can still sling it. And I think he'd give you quality enough game manager quarterback play. Give me Josh McCown. That's going to be my quarterback. And then I'll go running back as well. I'll go a guy that I thought you were going to take, and I'm kind of happy. Michael Vick is a crazy shout. Michael Vick would be hilarious. Brian, you're naming a couple of guys. You said Sam Darnold before and Leonard Williams. Those guys are both currently.
They have to be retired.
Yes, they're both on the same team as well. They're both currently playing. No, give me a running back. The guy that I thought you were going to take, somebody who's retired a little bit more recently than LaDainian Tomlinson, and a guy who was just with the Jets forever, and also one of the last jerseys that I've ever purchased. Give me Bilal Powell.
Oh, yes.
That's who I want. I think Bilal Powell might still be able to do it if you put him in the NFL today. He's retired 6 years ago, which feels like hasn't been that long, but it has been 6 years. I still think if you put Bilal Powell in the Jets right now, he at least gives you, he averages 3.3 yards per carry, which, look, if we're talking about retired players, that's not too bad.
I'm going to go double up on some positions here. I thought about linebacker because I was looking at David Harris.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be a really good one.
Dude, let's get Bart Scott back out there.
Bart Scott would be, he would be. I was thinking about that, but then I thought there's two guys, one that I loved watching and one that everybody for a period of time liked watching that I have to consider. Oh, Sean Ellis, that's a great pull.
Yeah.
John Abraham would have been a good pull too. Now, is John Abraham more of a Jet or a Falcon? I don't know.
He's probably more of a Falcon, unfortunately.
I think he's more of a Falcon.
Yeah, he had his best years with them, I think, unfortunately.
Let's see.
Well, he was with them for longer, too. The Jets.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, pretty even, honestly. Mm-hmm. 53 sacks with the Jets, 68 with the Falcons. It's pretty even.
A couple of good shouts at wide receiver here. I don't know if you were considering either of them, but Keyshawn Johnson, Wayne Corbett.
Keyshawn would be great.
Corbett would be hilarious, too.
Because Keyshawn's just huge. That would help.
Keyshawn would be your Marshall pick.
But I'm only going to go... You're going with a lot more recent guys. I'm going with more peak guys.
Sure.
I got to go with a recent guy that I loved watching. Wasn't a Jet for a while, but I think he made his mark. Give me Chris Ivory.
Oh, yeah.
Give me Chris Ivory.
Look at that backfield. Tomlinson and Ivory together is so fun.
Chris, just boom, boom. That is a power backfield.
Man.
That is, let's go get a goddamn snack, Rex Ryan. Run the ball backfield. And then I thought, you know what? What's more important than having a QB1? It's having a good QB2.
You're going to go 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, and Darrelle Revis.
And I'm doing that because, why not? You can't throw on Revis, and then we might run a wildcat with this guy because I can't discount what he was at his peak, even if he wasn't a great Jet. People remember Falcons Michael Vick and Eagles Michael Vick.
Goodness.
That level of athletic ability. Now, I might be a little biased because I did recently watch the 30 for 30 again, and it really crystallized just what a freakazoid he still is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like Lamar is kind of the evolution of him, but now there's more guys like that. For the time, the word revolutionary gets thrown around a lot. That's what he was, and people forget he wasn't an accurate passer ever. The arm strength he had, and he was not a big guy. I always remember, do you remember that Powerade commercial? Where
I don't think so.
It's being filmed on like an old camcorder, so it looks like, and the guy's like, "Whoa, that's Michael Vick," and he drinks Powerade, and then he's just throwing routes to guys, and whenever they catch it, he would get knocked back like 10 yards. A guy would run a go route, and he throws it. He's in the Coliseum. He throws it like halfway up the stadium steps. That's always what I think of whenever I think of him. So,
man, I can't
not just because of the athletic ability he had. And he's younger now. I think he's got to be in his, mid-40s?
Michael Vick? He's like 47 is my guess.
He's 45.
45.
I'd imagine he could still move a little bit.
Hey, that's only a year older than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers is 44, and he can't move, and he's playing. You're telling me Michael Vick at 45 can't run or throw?
Right.
So there's so many. We're going to do a rundown of some of the best names we missed here because there's so many.
There's some really good ones. Kevin Mawai, someone said, we're just going to go full on flag football, no trenches at all, or at least no offensive linemen, because the problem with offensive linemen is they usually lose a lot of weight after retirement. So, like, how's Kevin
Remember
Mawai?
Alan Faneca?
Yeah, of course.
He's running like marathons now.
Is he really? Well, it's like,
I remember there was a photo of him. I'll send it to you after the show. Like, right after he retired, and he was running a marathon. He was like 100 pounds lighter. I'm like,
it's like Russell Okung, right? The former tackle. He's like
the Bitcoin dude.
Yeah, but he lost like so much weight. It's crazy.
Well, I guess if you're not eating 6,000 calories every day,
right.
you just by not doing that, you lose weight.
Calvin Pace, Curtis Martin, Percy Harvin's a crazy pull.
Oh, my fantasy team name one year was No Mercy Percy.
We
won 4 games that year.
It sounds
like the Jets when they got Percy Harvin.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Antonio Cromartie's actually a really good poll.
Cromartie would be a good one.
You need Chris here saying Brad Smith. Cromartie, you need interceptions, so that makes sense. When you said Wildcat, I thought you were going to go Brad Smith for a second. I really thought that's where you were going.
Hey, I have a picture of Brad Smith.
You
autographed.
You were a big Brad Smith guy.
Well, no, my mom just I think Googled Jets autographs at Christmas one year and got that. That's why I have Dustin Keller too. But
so Dustin Keller is a name that was mentioned in chat, and I will say that might have been my pick for this last pick if I didn't think of someone else. But Keller was very, very much in consideration. Another guy, if we could just turn off injuries, that'd be great.
I'm going to hurt the Dolphins too. That was a scary injury.
He did, yeah. I'm going to go a different route. Brian said had a bad day. Sorry to miss the show. That's all right, Brian. Hopefully you're feeling better, buddy.
Hopefully you're feeling good.
We streamed at a different day than normal too, so don't worry about it. There's some fun stuff if you want to go back and watch. We'll be here on Sunday. But anyway, you made it just in time for the final pick of the Philip Rivers
Memorial mock draft.
He's not dead yet, Mike. He might be on Sunday.
When will I learn that memorials for dead people?
Listen, on Sunday when he takes his first hit from Leonard Williams,
he might be. If he plays against the Texans in Week 18, he might be.
God, Will Anderson's gonna.
Daniil Hunter's gonna go break him in 3 pieces. He's gonna go, dadgummit, I'm broken in half.
You made it here for the Mr. Irrelevant pick, and honestly, I'm gonna go a similar route to how you went, Mike, with a player who is definitely not considered a Jets legend, somebody that people don't think of. They're not synonymous with their Jets. They're synonymous with a different team. And I'm also going for sentimental reasons. Maybe this guy doesn't play. Maybe he's kind of like Vinny, where it's like, this guy's super old. How effective is he actually going to be at this stage? But I want Mike, and I looked this up because this guy was in my article. Do you know the last time a father and son played together on the same NFL team? It's happened once.
Is it one of the Matthews?
No, it's happened once ever, and it was 1921, and it was a couple of guys on the.
That barely counts.
And it was a couple of guys on the Columbus Panhandlers. Well,
the Panhandlers?
Yeah, that's the name.
No, I can't. The Columbus bums on the street asking for money.
Right. So it's
like Columbus, Ohio, right?
Yeah, Columbus, Ohio.
That's not a panhandle.
I assume it's Columbus, Ohio. I didn't check.
The Columbus Panhandlers. What?
No but anyway, you got Ken Griffey Jr.
History's great.
You got Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr.
The Panhandles, Justin.
I'm sorry, Panhandles. But anyway, that
makes it less funny. Sorry,
Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. in MLB. You got Bronny and LeBron in the NBA. Give me Jason Taylor because he is going to be playing with his son Mason on my fictional New York Jets team at 51 years old. Can Jason Taylor still rush the passer? I don't know. Maybe he'd be better than Michael Clemens. I'm not sure, but I do know that it'd be really cool and it'd be really fun to have Jason and Mason, which I'm just now realizing that their names rhyme.
And I believe there's a Jason Jr. in there.
There's Jason Taylor to second, but he's not related to Jason Taylor, if that's what you're thinking of.
No. I'm just thinking, hold on a second.
It might be. Jason Taylor to second.
Okay, no, it's Isaiah. Okay. So he didn't go Jason and Mason and then Grayson is the other one.
Grayson, yeah. Chasen.
Jason, yeah.
Kaysen Wallace.
So before we wrap up here, as you see our teams, we got CJ Mosley, Brandon Marshall, Josh McCown, Bilal Powell, Jason Taylor.
Yep, that's right.
Justin and Darrell Reeves, Vinny Testaverde, LT, Chris Ivory, and Michael Vick. For myself, let's just go name some guys and look at some responses from chat. Wesley Walker, that's a good one.
See, if we were to go if you're doing at your peak, that's different. But what's Wesley Walker doing in 2025?
Brian Glick has a good one, though. Another running back. Chris Johnson was a Jet.
Yeah, of course.
CJ 2K.
But also, his whole thing was speed. How fast do we think Chris Johnson is now?
Probably got, even if he's not that fast, he probably still got some,
I'd
imagine.
Sure.
Let's go with Sean Ellis. That was a great poll.
Who else was on my list that I didn't mention? Jamison Crowder. I feel like it'd be pretty fun.
Isn't he active?
No. Was he active?
I think he is.
I think he was last year.
No, he's not. Okay.
But I don't know if he's officially retired.
He played last year. So.
Yeah, maybe that doesn't count. Maybe he's not officially retired. Dustin Keller was also on my list.
Calvin Pace, that's a good one.
Yep.
Curtis Martin. We forgot Curtis Martin.
He'd be a beast, Curtis Martin.
He would be. He was a beast when he played, of course.
Absolutely.
Ivory ran angry. That's what I loved about him.
Yeah.
Very not cringeworthy Scattaboo, because I think Scattaboo is getting very cringeworthy. I think he's trying to be stupid on purpose.
He's trying to be a meathead.
I know he's stupid, but he's trying to be extra stupid for laughs. Sure. Chris Ivory was a cool dude, and he ran hard, and he gave himself irreparable brain damage, but it was in service of the Jets, and he ran for 1,000 yards. Cromartie is a good one.
Cromartie's a great one. That's a really good one.
Especially, did you see that one interview where he was like, "I love all my kids," and like, which ones?
Of course.
They asked him to name all of them, and he got like half of them.
Yeah, he struggled. Yeah, of course. That's the famous Cromartie interview.
I don't care. I know most of the people I went to high school with. Like, you know your kids.
Yeah, no, he doesn't apparently.
Chris B with a good one. Damon Snacks Harrison.
Yeah.
Just have him eat up space in the middle.
How big do we think he is though now? Do we think I don't think there's no way he's still that big.
I mean,
he's got to be under
big, and you could still, if you're that big and you can eat up space, right?
Functionally,
what was the difference between Snacks Harrison right now and Al Woods that year?
That's especially post Achilles tear. Al Woods.
He's only 37.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah, he's younger than that.
How old's Chris Jenkins?
Jenkins, not junior.
No, senior, not his son. If we're turning
off injuries, 46.
We're turning off injuries. Just put him in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, just leave him there like a buoy in the middle of the water. Just sit there.
I bet we nobody said Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick would be another.
Eric Decker, that's a good one.
Yep, Decker. Braylon Edwards.
Antonio Holmes ended very poorly with him.
Mm-hmm.
ZJ2K is fat. Oh, come on. I'm not putting that up. That's a Steve McNair joke.
Oh, man. That's tough.
Braylon Edwards, another big-bodied
yep.
wide receiver. Matt Forte, he was kind of dumb when he got to the Jets.
He was pretty washed when the Jets picked him up. I don't know what he looks like.
Was Matt Forte really good with the Jets? I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, I don't think he was. I think he averaged under 4 yards a carry or something, or close to that.
I mean, he wasn't terrible, but he almost caught 100 passes with the Bears that one year.
Yeah. Yeah,
Braylon Edwards is a guy, man, he really got screwed by Mark Sanchez being Mark Sanchez as a passer because he was like 1,000 yards perennial with the Browns.
Speaking of the devil, let's get Mark Sanchez out of prison. Let's break him out, put him on this team.
Is he in? Break him out? What is this, like the Old West? Like we're in train robberies here?
He got himself in a little bit of trouble.
How old is he? 39. Okay. Yeah, Philip Rivers, 44. So
he could take a stab at it.
Sorry. When did he last play? 2018 with Washington.
Mike, you missed my joke.
I did. I did.
Did you hear what I said?
Could take a punch.
No, I said he could take a stab at it.
Stab. Okay, I misheard. I heard.
Oh no, Gino could take a punch. Sorry,
Gino. Not this year, he isn't.
No.
Well, if you take 8 punches a game from defensive tackles and get sacked, then yeah.
Isn't it weird that the Jets drafted like the back-to-back 2 quarterback saviors for the Jets were both later assaulted?
Yeah. One. Keith Fitzpatrick and Bubble Wrap, man.
Yeah, and both of them were assaulted, and both of them kind of started it in the situations where they were assaulted.
And the guy before that wasn't exactly pristine.
That's true. That was Favre. That was
Favre.
True. That's true, man. They gotta get some. At least Justin Fields is a nice guy.
Mendoza just seems like a Boy Scout. Like
Mendoza's not gonna get in a bar fight.
I can't imagine what problems he would get in.
Kerry Rhodes.
Oh, you talk about another guy who just did not care about his mental health or body one bit.
Yeah.
Kerry Rhodes, some of the hardest hits I've ever seen in the NFL from Kerry Rhodes.
Hey, look, we're talking about safeties that didn't care about CTE. Let's bring in Eric Smith.
Oh my! All Eric Smith did was hit hard. He barely even played football.
Eric Smith just gave himself concussions every week, and that's how he.
I think I remember watching them play the Cardinals one time, and I think
Brett Favre threw
6 touchdowns. He hit Anquan Bolden that hard.
No,
Anquan Bolden was a huge ass receiver.
Is one of the most disgusting hits I've ever seen on an NFL field.
No, because he got kind of sandwiched in between another guy too.
It is gruesome. I hate watching that back.
Speaking of which, forget this Gotham rivalry stuff. Can they wear the New York Titans throwbacks?
Oh, I'd love that.
Instead of that,
I would love that.
We had Ed Reed one year. Ed Reed would have been a good one.
Ed Reed would be a fun one. That'd be a fun pull.
He can definitely still play. Ed Reed can play now and be like the 9th best safety in the league.
Hell, man, they had Ronnie Lott. Bring back Ronnie Lott.
They did have Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott didn't even have all his fingers, and he was good.
Give him Ronnie Lott on this team right now.
Did you ever hear that story? How he cut it off?
He cut off one of his fingers.
Well, yeah, because that's the whole thing of Ronnie Lott is he chopped his pinky off.
No, I didn't. That's his whole thing. I didn't.
That's like his most. On top of being the best safety ever, he was playing with the Niners. And they were playing the Cowboys last week of the year. He got it kind of caught in a running back's face mask. So it got kind of like the top got bent. And they were like, you're going to have to miss the playoffs. Like, I ain't missing the playoffs. So the Urban Tales, he didn't even get it amputated. He just went, lopped it off.
God. Oh, my God.
But yeah, he doesn't have this part of his pinky.
Jesus
Christ. He didn't miss any time, and they won the Super Bowl.
Listen, man, if Shaquem Griffin can make it work.
Pound for pound, I've heard him talk too, and some guys just have a cadence in how they talk like that.
Sure.
But he's staring dead eyes at you. I'm like, man, this dude
Ronnie
is
Lott or Shaquem Griffin?
Ronnie Lott. I'm like,
Okay.
man, this dude is scary.
Yeah.
Like just hearing him talk and the fact he chopped his finger off. So
My God.
not a guy I want to mess with.
All right, let's do Jags predictions super quick.
Jacksonville 30, Jets 17.
That's very fair.
Because I think Jacksonville's been playing better lately.
Mm-hmm.
I think that even though normally Trevor Lawrence is up here and back and forth, I think this is a good defense to kind of shake some of the rust off against. I think Jacoby Myers has really helped him because it's a nice stable guy over the middle. That isn't Brian Thomas who drops everything. I think the defense is going to get a couple takeaways, but they're very risky. So maybe there's a big play. Maybe Adonai Mitchell goes for 60 yards on like a busted coverage because that'll happen against him. But
yeah,
I like Cohen a lot. I think they've been running the ball really well. I think Jacksonville, it's weird because you want to say, oh, they're going to eventually regress, but they've lost 4 games this year, right? 2 of them were against, I think, the Rams and the Seahawks, which understandable. They're not as good as those teams. And then almost fluky, insane comebacks by Jake Browning and Davis Mills. But then they've won everything else. So
they're a good team.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be like win a lot in the playoffs, but I think they're going to enough where I think maybe at the end too it'll be 30-10, and then maybe Cook leads a late garbage time touchdown drive. If Brian Glick says if they plays the entire game 42-0, that's tough.
Maybe
ETN will have a big game. We stink versus speedy running backs.
I think ETN is going to have a touchdown.
Facial Tootin, I think, is impressed too this year.
Yep. Yeah, well, I really like Tootin coming out of the draft. His whole thing was just ball security, but has not been.
And he fumbled last week, but
I think was that his first of the year though.
Yeah, but he's a back. They may have one of the best running back rooms in the league. If they
they got LaQuint Allen, who they like too.
LaQuint Allen is great. He'll trash talk anybody.
Yeah, Syracuse.
I think I had a fringe top 100 grade on LaQuint Allen. He's one of my guys.
He went 7th round, right?
Yeah, he was one of my guys this year. So I'll take a win on that.
Sure. JJ said 31-10, and I'm mad you said that because that's what I was going to say. So I'll alter it a little bit, and I'll say 31-7. I kind of am with Brian on this one, where if Cook is starting, which it sounds like he's going to Fields, and Taylor officially did miss practice today. Brees returned in limited capacity. I think Mason Taylor also missed practice again. So
Jeremy Ruckert, 10 targets.
Or maybe I'm wrong.
Well, not even that. That's going to be worse too, because Devin Lloyd might be their best defensive player.
Mason Taylor and AZ Thomas both missed practice again today, so we could have no AZ Thomas. Mason Taylor, by the way, also Stone Smart has a concussion. So you know what that means, Mike?
Jelani Woods.
It's actually going to be Jelani Woods season. They have to play him. He's going to be used in 12 personnel.
I don't want to hear anything about Aaron Glenn if he doesn't win this game. Like, look at that injury report. Look at this quarterback situation.
But they're gonna probably elevate Nick Muse, who they just signed to their practice squad.
You know why they're gonna get 17? Isaiah Williams. Isaiah Williams.
I'll say 31-7, which is very similar to J Mark's 32-6. And I'll say they get a touchdown because
is that a scoregami?
No.
32-6?
No way. It's 32. Not common. There's no way. That's
only 7 times.
Yeah, so. It's not common, but that's got to happen.
Well, you know what the last one was?
The last 36?
Yeah, it was the Jets in 2023. That's when Zach Wilson got benched for Tim Boyle against the Bills.
Whoa, that's right.
That was that game.
Wow.
Was that the year he quit, or was that 2024? No, that was the year. Yeah, that was when he.
Yeah, that was the year he quit. Wilson wasn't there in 2024.
Yes, yeah. That was when he quit.
Yeah, that was 20. Yes.
Because I don't want to start.
Yes.
I could get hurt out there. Well, yeah, no shit, Zach.
Yeah, the official injury report still has 5.
Philibongo, bring back Jason Marrow this weekend.
Kiko's also still hurt, by the way. Jason Marrow. No, why?
Remember how good he was as a rookie, and then Rex Ryan's like, this is the worst player I've ever coached in my life. And everybody's like, what's happening here? And then he never played again.
He just had little baby hands. That was his problem.
But he was so big and so fast.
He had tiny hands. He couldn't catch.
Yeah, but rookie year, he was okay.
It was okay. It was fine.
He just vanished.
Bring back Jeff Cumberland. That's going to be mine.
I was hoping Mason Taylor wouldn't follow that developmental pipipeline.
Or the Chris
good rookie year, and then Thanos snapped out of existence.
Chris Herndon? Anyone? Chris Herndon?
For some reason, Benigno hated him so much. It was
Herndon. Why?
He hates, like, and I'm kind of with Benigno with that a lot of times, where like some of the fringe role players you get a little more angry with because like you're like, oh, he's like, oh, the immortal. I remember Daniel Brown, and this was before Frankie Louvu was good and stuff like that. He'd always be like, how can I get excited when we're playing with, these guys? So he's a little more hard on those guys.
Whatever. Fair enough. I'll say 31-7. I'll say their only touchdown comes via some special teams debauchery.
Or maybe they get their first pick this year. Because Lawrence can be a little loose sometimes.
So could Tua. So could a lot of quarterbacks they played.
Tua's leading the league in picks and they didn't do anything.
Didn't do shit. They had multiple opportunities to.
They literally hit them in the chest.
There's so many times too the ball has been like deflected in the air and it hangs up for a few seconds, and no part of me is like the Jets are going to pick this off. No part of me is like even for a second do I think it's going to happen. But yeah,
how many interceptions do they end the year with?
I want to say none. I really
are they really gonna go? Really?
I really want to say none. I'll say one. No, you know what? No, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say 3. I think they get 3 in the Saints game and piss me the fuck off. I think. I think they get like, it'll
be really improbable. They'll pick off Drake May or something.
No, you know what's gonna happen?
Like, the guy you don't expect.
Tony Adams gets their first pick, and it like wins them the game, and fans are like, "Oh."
Will McDonald on a deflected or he jumps a screen pass or something.
Michael Clemens on a deflected pass.
Hey, Michael Clemens been playing well lately. He got a couple sacks.
Could you imagine Michael Clemens with a football in his hands? He wouldn't know what to do.
Legitimately, in the last month, like since the Browns game, has Michael Clemens been better than Will McDonald? I think he has.
Yeah. Yes. Because he's not as much of a liability in the run. I mean, they're both terrible. They've both been awful. Like,
think about that though.
Yeah, it's not good. Well, again,
Justin, I think it's time you could sign us off in this episode of the Jet Press podcast.
Agree, this has been one of our longer.
Brian Glick says too, before he signs us off really quick, I'm flying in for the New Orleans game. I want a Jets win.
Oh, look, I hope it's a fun game. I hope you have a great time, Brian. That sounds awesome. I will be rooting probably for the Saints. Just like I just for draft position wise, like that's the one game where it's like, man, I really don't want.
Normally I don't, but if it's that direct,
yeah.
Like if I was a Giants fan and they were playing the Raiders, like if it's that influential on,
right, I'll probably want like a close game where the Saints win that. Like I just, I don't know if I could. Which, by the way, next week, we will likely we'll keep people updated on Sunday probably, but there's a good chance we won't be streaming next week. If we do, I will not be here. I will probably be in Louisiana, not New Orleans, but I'll probably be there. So we'll keep you guys updated on
talking to somebody from the Saints, actually.
Possibly talking to. I mean, I could say it. It's not like actually, I'm not going to say it because it might not be something I can share. But
top secret. Yeah, we don't have.
I'll share it at some point probably. But yeah. Anyway, so keep an eye out for that. We'll be here on Sunday though, streaming after the Jets game after a likely.
Philibongo says competitive losses. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, competitive losses is probably.
If they lose to the Jags 27-20, I'm not going to be mad at all.
Again, the one game I would love to see them win, beat Buffalo
or New England.
But even more, so I want to knock the Bills out of the playoffs.
I don't think they're getting knocked out of the playoffs.
I want to be on the road, week 18, Bills fighting for a playoff spot, and I want to knock them out of the playoffs. I want that more than anything.
I can't have Drake May be MVP year 2 and 1 seed, and I can't have it happen.
It's going to happen regardless. The Jets can't prevent that. The Jets can potentially.
They can do their part, and handing them an ego check by losing to the Jets at home.
Like if they get if May throws 3 picks against the Jets, then I'm all for it. I think that'd be awesome. I would love that so much. But anyway, thank you all for joining us on the show today. You can follow Mike on Twitter at @ByMichaelChom. Follow me on Twitter, Justin D. Fried. Follow the Jet Press and the Jet Press. Download the Jet Press podcast wherever your podcast. Check us out on YouTube and TikTok. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also become a member today. Shout out again to Austrian Jet Fan and MF Chu, who both donated memberships. You guys are awesome, and we so much appreciate every time anybody donates a membership, anytime anybody, subscribes themselves or they watch the show. It is all just very much appreciated. We can't do it without you guys. Also, it sounds like Philip Rivers is tracking to start on Sunday, according to
what's Riley Leonard thinking right now?
I guess he's hurt. He's probably like, damn, man.
Like if he's healthy.
Well, then
what's Brett Rippon thinking?
That Brett Rippon's the real one because he's actually healthy. Which that Brett Rippon is in the Tim Boyle territory where it's like, well, why are you even employing this guy?
Yeah.
If you're gonna sign 44-year-old Philip Rivers off the street,
people will complain a lot about. I've seen some people be like, "Oh, Tom Brady said they have a development problem," and now people are taking it seriously. The problem is coaches will sign QB3s now as just like either their buddy or basically like an extra assistant coach.
Right.
Like, don't do that because they may have to play. Brady Cook is not an extra coach. He's a guy that has to play now. Imagine if the Jets had one like Tim Boyle, like
They did. The Jets had Brett Rippon last year.
and Tim Boyle.
And Tim Boyle. Yeah, it's a mess. But anyway.
What if the Colts signed Tim Boyle?
Oh my God, he is a free agent. He is indeed a free agent. He was on the Titans roster this summer. Oh God, well, Tim Boyle, Brett Rippon would be hilarious. But anyway, we stream live normally every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Again, we'll keep you updated on next week and live immediately following every single Jets game. So we'll be live on Sunday talking about Jets, Jaguars, and probably other big picture stuff. Thank you all for listening to Jet Press Podcast. I've been Justin Fried. That is Mike Luciano. See you guys next time.
See you folks next week.